Today we're at Chelsea Hospital with President Ben Miles. And good morning, Ben.
Morning, Bart.
It's coming up on your 2-year anniversary here.
I'm excited. It's great to be here.
How's it going?
I'm loving it so far. I shouldn't say so far. I'm loving it. You know, it's a great place to be. It's great to be home in Michigan. 2 years ago, if I could have scripted how I would love these 2 years to go, I wouldn't change a thing. This is a great hospital, a great team. Great to be back in the area.
Well, there have only been, what, 3 presidents of this hospital in its entire history?
Exactly, yeah. No pressure, you know, yeah. But no, number 4 here, and really I feel like part of my opportunity, my responsibility, is to continue the legacy of great care to the community. And I feel like the team that's here, we've got a great team, and we're continuing to really honor those investments that they've made.
Well, that's one of the things that you really see and feel is that the word community is very important, and you are one of the top 100 community hospitals in the whole country.
Right.
One of the top 5 hospitals of any type in the state of Michigan.
Right.
Among many awards, tons of awards.
Right.
Several since you've been here.
Right, yeah.
And it's not by accident.
Sure.
What is it, you know, such a small community hospital, how is it that you get such attention and end up with all of these honors?
You know, it's not just because we're so close to Ann Arbor, but I'll quote a famous man who once said, the team, the team, the team. You know, it really does come down to those who serve here. We have a world-class medical staff. Our nurses, our techs, our aides, our EVS, our food service, each and every person puts such love and attention into this. You know, workforce has become a huge topic for many industries. And unlike many, Chelsea has, for the past roughly 18 months, not had to bring any outside contract labor in. We've got people who have served here for 15, 20, actually last fall, we celebrated a colleague who served here for over 50 years. And that kind of dedication is why this community has seen consistency. We talked a little bit about brand earlier. What Chelsea Hospital has come to be known for is excellent outcomes, an excellent patient experience, and we steward resources well.
I know there's been a lot of emphasis on the emergency department, and some hospitals, because of staffing and other reasons, they're discouraging people from using the emergency room.
Right.
You're not. You actually want to grow that.
Exactly. Well, it's the front door to every hospital, and what we have seen over the past particularly couple years has been almost this hockey stick-like growth here. A couple years ago, we had about 23,000 visits. When we combined the urgent care in the emergency department, we're now north of 30,000 visits. So that kind of growth is amazing. In fact, Chelsea Hospital is one of the fastest growing hospitals in the entire state right now. That being the case, though, we want to make sure that everybody's experience, again, is still that excellent experience they've come to expect.
And as you grow the emergency department, that's just one of the areas growing. You're adding a number of specialties. And again, there are hospitals that are, they're cutting the specialties.
Right.
And I think part of it is just the lack of talent.
Right. No, it's tough, and I think attracting too. Fortunately, we've had a great reputation, so we've been able to successfully attract. It's amazing, excuse me, for a hospital our size to have a medical staff that's nearly 900 providers is almost unheard of nationally. But you're right. I mean, I think we want to take care of the bread and butter that we've always kind of taken care of over the years. But we're excited particularly about one of the specialties, inpatient rehab. You know, Michigan, who's one of our joint venture partners, is consolidating and moving its entire inpatient rehab program to the Chelsea campus. What a huge opportunity. You talk about one of the top teaching, clinical, academic rehab programs in the entire country. And that's going to be housed here. So it's not just an opportunity for us to provide a world-class clinical experience. We're training tomorrow's PM&R doctors. We are doing groundbreaking research and caring for the sickest of the sick here in probably one of the most idyllic settings you could imagine for this type of patient population.
Yeah, so that is another one of the areas in healthcare that is growing, and I think that's part of the impact of the aging of the population.
You're exactly right. You know, our community, we study very carefully. We use data to drive the processes. We've really tried to, you know, continue to be responsive to the community needs. Just this past October, we had a community town hall, and these are the opportunities we want to open up to not just have in-person and hybrid options, but to be responsive to the community. And that's why, you know, I love getting out to local nonprofits like Rotary and Serve on the Chamber and that, but just really wanting to make sure that we have a pulse on what the community needs. And we're going to adapt those services. But we want to be able to grow and continue to serve. Like you said, it's all about the community.
Now, in that town hall, you laid out components of your 3-year plan,
Right.
and I think you're about halfway through the 3 years at that point. Are you
Right.
looking? Are you looking further down? What do you see the hospital in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, we actually have just recently gone through a 10-year visioning. You know, I'd love to tell you that I'm that good, but looking that far down the line, I think the value in that is it helps us to really stretch the imagination and affirm the steps that we're taking in the near term. I would say, like much of healthcare, we're looking to more virtual and ambulatory options. I think growth is still well within the reach here. Chelsea's a growing community, the surrounding communities. We have some of the leading healthcare across the state here in Washtenaw County, and we're proud to be a part of that. But I would say continued growth and optimization of services here, and we just need to be nimble and try to adapt. How do we meet the growing and changing demands of our community? And the goal is we need to communicate that well so there's no surprises to folks who are experiencing and trusting us for that care.
And I think orthopedics, one of the areas that the hospital's been known for.
Yes.
And you're doubling down in orthopedics.
We really are, you know, and I think the growth that we have seen there, we've enjoyed a great relationship with the orthopedic group that has been here for some time, and it's been amazing to see how community-minded they are. There's a huge teaching element to what they do beyond the amazing clinical care that they provide, and we're seeing new surgeons choosing to come here. It's one thing, and I don't want to take even our employed medical staff for granted because we want to be the best place for doctors to work, but it's rewarding when you see independent members of the medical staff say, Chelsea's where I want to plant my flag. This is the best place for me to grow my practice. And I think it's because they've enjoyed it and their patients have really had a great experience too.
The outreach by the hospital into the community is, I think, grown. We've seen things like the community dinners where you've invited
Yes.
people, and we've seen various clinics and educational opportunities that you're bringing people into the hospital for.
Yeah.
That's, I think, more purposeful in doing that in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. You know, I love the holiday dinners. You know, some of the things that we do that a lot of hospitals just don't. My predecessors, you know, had a tradition of giving every colleague and volunteer who serves here a turkey come Thanksgiving time. I was asked, even during you know, some lean budget times, if that would go away. I said, if I have to dip into my own personal funds, that's never going away as long as I'm here. But I think it's those things. It's, you know, we have a employee engagement survey, our Pulse survey. You know, we set a goal for our team to hit in terms of participation, not a score, but we want to hear from you. Because we did that, we're going to throw a pizza party. And, you know, around the clock, I'm serving all shifts, and it's our leadership team serving our frontline staff. You know, to just say thank you for letting us know what's important to you. And we're going to respond back to say, we've heard you, we see you, here's what we're going to do to make it better.
We've seen a lot of consolidation in healthcare, even in Michigan.
Yes.
And I know there are hospital groups and hospitals that look at Chelsea as an anomaly and wonder, you know, how do you do it? Is there a secret sauce?
Oh boy, you know, so when I got here, I heard about the Chelsea secret sauce. And I gotta say, it is the longevity, it's the team that we have here, and that team being willing to welcome and bring people who align with our culture. You know, I mentioned workforce earlier, and it's tough hiring these days. But I think our team, our leaders, have exercised the discipline to say, we don't want to just have someone who has a great resume, they've got the training they need. We want people who match our culture, who are going to continue that legacy of great tradition. You know, one of my favorite quotes comes from Maya Angelou, where she talks about people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how they made you feel. And one of the most rewarding things I encounter is when I talk to our patients, when I round through, and they said, you made my family feel welcome, you made me feel like you really cared for me. You know, people come here expecting to get better, but they get a world-class experience when they come to Chelsea.
Yeah, they actually, I think they have pride in being repeat customers of the hospital.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a repeat customer of a hospital?
You're right, yeah. No, I had a boss who once said, we sell a service that nobody wants to buy, right? But I mean, how do we do that in a way where it kind of just changes the paradigm and it helps you know we're here because you're here?
I think two of the measures that you continually win awards in is quality and patient experience.
Yes.
So obviously those are very key metrics
Right.
that I would imagine would be important to any hospital. What kinds of things do you do to maintain those high marks in both quality and patient experience?
Well, I've talked a little bit about, you know, hiring tough and making sure that we get it right on the front end. I think another part of that is leaders trying to be visible. You know, we really emphasize things like hourly rounding and making sure that we're proactively getting to patients. But I think our team's taking it to a new level. We've just recently challenged ourselves around what do interdisciplinary rounds look like, and how do we make sure that it's not just our case managers and physicians who are involved in this, but nursing plays such a key role. So instead of meeting in a room, that's now gone on the road, and we're doing that in the units, at the bedside, engaging patient and family member too. So they're a part of the healing process as well.
So do you go on rounds yourself?
I do. Yeah, no, I do. I'd love to tell you I do it more often than I'd like to. That schedule gets away from me. But I think back to, it was about a month or so ago, I had a meeting cancel, and I just went down to the surgeon's lounge and sat there for an hour. Now, there are some surgeons you know I've developed relationships with. They see me, and you come over, you do the fist bump, and we have a great conversation. There was a couple saying, "So why are you here?" And I'm like, "I'm just here to talk to you, to have a cup of coffee. There's no agenda." And those are the kind of organic conversations that when you're accessible, when you're approachable, you start hearing what's working well. How do we hardwire that? What needs to be better? And when you can build that trust, I think there's an openness here. You can feel it when you walk down the hallways that this hospital, I would hope our staff would reaffirm this, but just it's a great place to be. Our people are here not just because of a paycheck, they're here because they feel connected to their calling.
Yeah, you do feel it when you walk in, the way you're greeted, the way people interact as you're just coming in off the street.
Right.
What about you? You've worked in larger markets. You've been in healthcare your whole time. But
right.
what do you think? What's Chelsea mean as a community mean to you, Ben?
You know, I love this community. You know, even since being here, you know, it's a tough market to hire leaders, and I'll be very candid. I mean, there have been opportunities to look elsewhere. I love Chelsea, and I've chosen to come here, and I'm choosing to stay here. I think that what we have in this community is so dynamic, it's so special. You think about a city, this town, I kind of feel like we're able to punch a little bit above our weight because of all the investments that have been made inside of the community. There are amazing civic and business leaders that have really elevated Chelsea to a place where we have amazing schools. We have amazing housing market. We talked a little bit about that. I mean, you got to kind of know someone to get in because the houses go so quickly. But you know, for me, this is a place not only where I'm proud to serve. I mean, it just to my bones. I've had a lot of time working in different markets. I recognize how special it is here, and I want to just open our doors as much as we can to not only serve, but for anybody who's like-minded. You know, I'll share this. You know, we had a process for about 3 or 4 months where we worked on a vision statement for the hospital. And it starts with Chelsea Hospital will be the best community hospital in the country. And I'll be the first to tell you, Bart, I don't even know how to measure that. But it's such an aspirational statement. And what I said is, I hope people who are inspired by that say, you couldn't hold me back from working in a place like that. And if that scares you, there are a lot of other hospitals where you can serve. This may not be your home, but I hope it inspires everybody to come and receive care, knowing that we're going to guard that because you're trusting us with one of the most precious things you can. And for those who are serving here, it is a sacred trust, and we need to honor that. So it's a great place to be.
It's a very ambitious goal. You're right. You mentioned this town. It's a storybook town.
It is.
And Chelsea Hospital very much a part of that story.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure connecting with you, and hopefully it doesn't take 2 more years for us to get together again.
I hope not.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
All right.
Ben Miles, president of Chelsea Hospital.